Okay, we have a new client. Look at how hairy his leg is. So I'm going to demonstrate to show you how to sugar the legs properly. Let's raise it up so they can see all the hair. You guys see this? Very full, long hair. So we will sugar all of this. So the first step is we want to make sure the skin is clean. And to do that, I will use some witch hazel. And you can get that at Target. It's Thayer's Witch Hazel. And just shake it and spray generously. If you don't have any witch hazel, you can just use water. So just 100% water is fine. And then we are going to use a towel and just wipe it dry. It's very important that the skin is completely clean. Um, Remove all the residue, the dirt residue and the oil residue, because the skin has to be clean and dry for the sugar to really grab the hair. So you can use Thayer's Witch Hazel, okay? Or water. And the next step is powdering. So we want to powder with pure cornstarch. And I usually have the client bend the skin a little bit. So if you're doing this at home for your friend, families, and so on, it will be the same thing. So just powder it generously and massage it in. And this is the sugaring paste that I made. So what you do is just use a couple of fingers and just pinch it lightly and just cradle it and twirl it. See that? And then you can get a ball of sugar in your fingers and just use your thumbs to roll it and manipulate the sugar like that. And you can let it drop too. Try not to get the sugar into the palm of your hands. Just stay on the tips of your finger. And it does take practice, which is fine. Make sure this hand is clear of any sugar. You do not want to use both hands to hold the sugar because you need this hand free of sugar so you can touch the client's skin or maneuver or put more powders and so on, and also to hold the skin tight. Let's move over a little bit so we can see. So here's the ball of sugar. The first step that you do is just anchor the sugar down and then start molding it. So the finger, the tip of the finger needs to be perpendicular with the client's skin, and you actually touching the client's skin and then molding it backward. Do you see the raking pattern right there? That means I'm actually raking the hair and the skin. I'm touching it so the sugar will seep into the follicles. And then when you near the end, what you want to do is you want to lift up about 45-degree backward like this so it doesn't hurt the client. You don't want to pull the hair. So again, going backward. And then go back to the front and just anchor it and then start molding it again. You see how curved my finger is? And the tip of the finger is perpendicular and breaking in the sugar paste. So start melting. Look at this. And then we get near the end. We don't want to run out of sugar back here. We want to have at least some sugar left over because sugar adhere to sugar. So you need to have some sugar in here in order for it to adhere to the other sugar. So now we're lifting it off 45-degree backwards and then move it forward. So we do this about 3 times, okay? And then when you're ready to flick, what you do is lower your wrist to give it momentum, and then this hand hold it tight, and then you flick. You can see the hairs right here. And then mold it again, past the points, and then flick it, flick it. Here you can zoom in and see the hair are gone. Wow, can you raise it up and show this camera? Let me see. Oh no, I don't have that camera hang. Right there, it's all gone. With the same ball of sugar, just roll it and manipulate it so the hairs mixed in with the sugaring paste. And then we're going to do the next batch. So anchor it and start molding it. This hand hold the skin tight. And lift it off slowly. Go back to the front and molding it and raking it in. Slowly. The sugar will melt as you go along, so don't force it too much. If you force it too much, the client will feel all the pulling. You don't want to do that. You want to go slowly as the sugar melts, and you go faster as the sugar melts faster. You will be able to determine that. Depend on the temperature of the room, the temperature of the client, and your hand's temperature. Okay, so I'm ready to flick. So I'm lowering my wrist, and then flick and flick. Wow, it looks so clean, amazing. Okay, so we're doing this next patch right here. So lift it off. So pay attention to the hand, the curve of the hand, because you want to curve backward and perpendicular. Okay. 2 times. Now this is the 3rd time. Just don't rush, you guys. Now we lower the wrist and then flick, flick. Wow. And if you see any residual sugaring paste on the skin, you can just tap it. And sugar will adhere to sugar, and it will just grab the residual sugar and paste into the ball. Okay, so I'm just going to move along. And the hair is growing downward, so we want to apply the opposite direction. And just raking the sugaring into the follicle. And then when we flick with the direction of the hair growth. See, this is done. From here to here. Let's straighten his legs. And now, I'm going to go right here. So with the same ball of sugar, you can do the whole legs. Just make sure you don't run out of sugaring paste back here. Always leave a little balls left over. Like I say, you need to have it there in order to, when you tap, it will adhere, or when you flick, it will adhere to the other sugaring paste that already on the skin. Flick, flick. Just take your time, don't rush. And relax your hands, okay? Don't put too much tension. Just relax. the sugar will melt and your hand will just glide along. Okay, so I'm ready to flick, so I'm lowering my wrist and I flick and I go past that point and flick again. Very nice. Let's do the knees, okay? Just have your friend or client raise it up. And up here, we want to do a smaller area. So you can just use 2 fingers. So I would just do a small strip like this and short because it's curving and it's going downward. So you don't want to do one long strip from here to here, then you cannot flick it. This one you just do it short and small. So 3 times, lower your wrist and flick. See? And then we're going around. And make sure you stretch the skin tight. Very nice. Don't try to do such a large piece at the beginning because it takes practice. So here we just make it like a frog legs like that. And you can reapply the powder as often as you need. If you feel the client starts sweating, then reapply the powder, okay? With the same bob sugar, we just anchor it and then we're molding it the opposite direction, raking in and molding it into the follicle. Three times. And then lower your wrist and then flick, flick. It's a clean sweep. Now we're going further up the thigh. Just remember, don't just pet the sugar. You actually have to mold it in, okay? The tip of your finger needs to touch the client's skin. So the sugar will be like the middle layer and then it will start melting. You have to see the raking. If you don't see the raking, then you are just petting it. And if you're just petting it, the sugar is not going to melt into the follicle. So 3 times and then flick, flick. Wow. So we're going lift it off 45°. You see how the sugar is become stringy because it's full of hairs right now. He has a lot of hair, so I'm just molding it. Lower my wrist, flick, flick. This requires a lot of practice, okay, you guys? So don't give up. Once you master the basics of the molding, the flicking, everything will go by easier. But at the beginning, you just have to make sure that you get the techniques down. Lift it up. And you can change your sugar paste anytime. If you feel that it's full of hairs already, then you can just grab a new ball of sugar. So right now, this is way too much hair already, and I have double gloves, so I can just pull one of my gloves off and let it envelope the sugar, and then I just simply throw this away. And look, I have a new pair of gloves underneath. So I double glove. And now we can just grab a new bob sugar, pinch it, twirl it, cradle it, so it stay on top of at the fingertips instead of in the palm of the hand. See? Twirl it. It's kind of fun, isn't it? And with the thigh is growing downward like this, so we're going to apply the opposite direction. Lower your wrists and flick. Flick. So after you're done, you just spray the same witch hazel all over the area that already been sugared. And just wipe it off. See, look at the smooth and the hairy legs. Look at the difference. All smooth and nice. It's not even red. And then this one is all hairy. Yeah.
Pause this one.
Put it up.
Them up.
Yeah. Both of them so then we can see. Like,
Okay,
can you
wait.
raise your legs up? Like, show them. Like, then. Yeah, you see all hairy right here? And then this one is all smooth. And then hairy. Yeah. Perfect.